Yeah. Late tall. Hey, tall county losers. Yeah, late tall county losers playing the game. Telling their stories, gotta keep them the same. Nothing rings honest, every word bent strange. Nothing true in the room, so who takes the blame? Is it Billy Ashley or Payne in the back? Smirks in the hallway, ink on the stack. Sign on the line while they grin and they grin. Every handshake dirty, every deal is a spin. Government fam, government scam. What's real, what's scam? They point at the broke kid, call him the crime, while the wolves wear ties, walk out just fine. Late Talk County losers, you all look the same. Devil in your eyes, but you're hiding the fangs. Bill Ashley and Payne, oh my. Shame, shame, shame. Look in the mirror, who you see? You all look the same. Devil inside, ugly out in the flame. Ugly out in the flame. Yeah, prosecuting wrong ones, protecting the worst. Bless the corrupt while the honest get cursed. Judge in your pocket, papers in flames. Ice pea on the wire, playing the same old game. Shake down the wheat while you toast the order. Build your kingdom on the broken border. Truth on trial with his hands in chains, but the guilty walk free, laughing off the stains. Government fam, government scam. What's truth? What's sham? They swear to saviors holding that book, but cross that line, see how quick they cook. Lake Talk County losers, you all look the same. Devil in your eyes, but you're hiding the fangs. Bill Ashley and Payne, oh my. Shame, shame, shame. Look in the mirror, who you see? You all look the same. Devil inside, ugly out in the frame. Ugly out in the frame. Look in the mirror, tell me what you see. Halo on your head or the smoke from the heat. You can burn that robe, you can change that name, but the stain stays red, you can't wash that blame. Late Talk County losers, you all look the same. Devil in your eyes, but you're hiding the fangs. Bill Ashley and Payne, oh my. Shame, shame, shame. Look in the mirror, who you see? You all look the same. Devil inside, ugly out in the frame. Yeah. Here comes Miley Mick, foggy, driving all day, yeah, dog tired, groggy. Fast food cold in the passenger seat, bag on the floor, all salt, no heat. Walking in circles, late night lobby, eyes half closed, whole world wobbly. Door dashing, she smashing that route, telling her story, trying to crawl out. Molly Mick foggy, so foggy, whole day smear like a rear view, soggy. Who changed your mind? Did they scare you? Billy's the boss and you're lost in the glow. Molly Mick foggy, so foggy. I thought a killer, but the picture got choppy. Another weird story, my mind long gone. Saw the girl in the window, then she just gone. Billy's my friend, here we go again. Same crack joke, same dead end grin. I saw the killer, he was right next to me, but every scene bends, blurs on repeat. He wasn't Molly Mike, he ain't that tired, he ain't that wired, he ain't half fired. You look so groggy, stumbling lane to lane, phone light on, but you're missing the name. Molly Mick foggy, so foggy, whole day smear like a rear view, soggy. Yeah, who changed your mind? Did they scare you? Billy's the boss and you're lost in the gloom. Molly Mick foggy, so foggy. I saw the killer, but the picture got choppy. Another weird story, my mind long gone. Saw the girl in the window, then she just gone. So gone like a car in the rain. little streaks on the paint. Saw the girl in the window, then I did it hard. Said run, but the wheels stay spinning. Molly mix foggy, so foggy, so foggy. Whole day smell like a rear view, soggy. Who changed your mind? Did they scare you? Billy's the boss and you're lost in the gloom. Molly mix foggy, so foggy, so foggy. I saw the killer, but the picture got choppy. Another weird story, my mind long gone. Saw the girl in the window, then I did it.
Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Come on in. Have a seat. Pour up a cup of truth. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Come on in, have a seat. Pour up a cup of truth. Yeah.
We here pulling threads, laying them out for you. Names on the corkboard wall, red lines cutting through. Cold files on the counter, old lies in the air. Everybody got a story, we just see what's there. Seeking that justice, digging every day. Every little rumor, every word they say. Nothing but nonsense spinning around this town. We break it down, turn it all around.
Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe.
Come on in,
Sit down, press play.
pour a hot cup of truth.
Let it stay.
We don't buy that script, they say we're
Here pulling threads for you.
peeling back layers on what ain't true. Stories being sold, narrative up and down. We flip that tail, put the facts in the ground. Late night, black coffee, eyes on the page. Somebody trying to profit from somebody else's pain. Clickbait, headlines, dancing on the screen. We cut through the chat to get back to what it means. Who wins, who bleeds, who's hiding the stain, who's laughing on the way to the bank off your pain. We chase that truth like a car in the rain. If the trail go cold, we light it up again.
Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe.
Come on in,
Sit down, press play.
pour a hot cup of truth.
Let it stay.
We don't buy that script, they say we're here pulling threads for you. Peeling back layers on what ain't true. Stories being sold, narrative up and down. We flip that tail, put the facts in the ground. Is it justice? Or just a show? Are they chasing the truth? Or chasing the glow in this room? We call that bluff, cause people ain't episodes that you binge and forget.
Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe.
Come on in,
Sit down, press play.
pour a hot cup of truth.
Let it stay.
We don't buy that script, they say we're here pulling threads for you. Peeling back layers on what ain't true. Stories being sold, narrative up and down. We flip that tail, put the facts in the ground.
Here comes the crew. Oh. All in blue. Here comes the crew. All in blue. Yeah. All in blue.
Tomboy stomping in steel toes. Candy talk slick, that still flow. Leah lean back, got real glow. SRB slide through, that real slow. Sassy Cassie with the side eye. Jesse Lynn hit him, watch him backslide. Christy Nevada with the wild ride. Lucy Morningstar, set the sky bright. Fizzy Snoop the 75, brain sharp. Cat cake cut deep, leave a faint mark. It's this chaos when the play start. Typically unique, bro. High art. Man got a plan that lock tight. The last 24, running all night. Randy B laugh, but the aim right. Molly Cat pounce when it's on sight, on sight.
Here comes the blue crew.
Doing that thing, dropping that hammer, making it rain. Name on your lips, better watch what you say. Don't mess with the blue crew, move out the way.
Here comes the blue crew.
Heavy that swing, dropping that hammer, making it sing. City on lock when they step in the front.
frame, don't mess with the blue crew. Put respect on the name. We don't bark, we just walk through. Whole room hush when we talk truth. Every side street, no hoop. Every back row, feel blue. From the first light to the late shift. If you slide slick, that's a grave lift. Crew, tight knit like a chain link. Try, break one, whole chain blink. Tomboy front, that pace set. Candy count wins like a paycheck. Leah, hold calm when the wave crash. SIB dry, never break fast. Sassy Cassie laugh, then it's lights out. Jesse lean quiet, then the light shout. Christy Lucy, all about that fight route. Blue crew stand tall, never wipe out. Never, never. Here comes the blue crew doing that thing. Dropping that hammer, making it rain. Name on your lips, better watch what you say. Don't mess with the blue crew. Move out the way. Here comes the blue crew. Heavy that swing. Dropping that hammer, making it sing. City on lock when they step in the frame. Don't mess with the blue crew. Put respect on the name. Roll call, step up the squad. If you ain't down, back off, that's the law, we don't break. We been still, that's true. One voice, one banner, blue crew. Hey, here comes the blue crew, doing that thing. Dropping that hammer, making it rain. Name on your lips, better watch what you say. Don't mess with the blue crew, move out the way. Here comes the blue crew, heavy that swing. Dropping that hammer, making it sing. City on lock when they step in the frame. Don't mess with the blue crew. Put respect on the name.
All right. Welcome back, peeps. Good to see you today. I hope you're all having a great one. Thank you for joining us here at the cafe. We are open for business. Good to have you here. Please come on in, find a seat, get comfortable, fill up your cup with whatever it be. We're going to be jumping into a new conversation today. Should be a good one. I'm definitely curious people's thoughts on this one. Got some thoughts of my own. The University of Idaho murder case. Who really did this and why? How many times have you asked that question, you guys? Ask yourself that. I know I've asked myself that quite a few times, and we're going to break that down based on the newer stuff that we see. Any thoughts and feelings anybody has? As always, it should be a good conversation. So please make sure to share this out. Hit the like button on your way through the door. Let everybody know what we're doing over here. And that being said, let's do this thing so we can get this thing jumping, guys. Thank you again for joining me. Again, hit the like button, please, and share this out. Let's go.
Flicker like broken halos. Whispers gather in the smoke-filled air. Tables carved with secrets and shadows. Every story's a wound laid bare. The kettle's boiling with a restless rage. Justice written on an unseen page. I sip the silence, bitter taste, waiting for the ghosts to show their face. At the TruCrime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betray. Mirrors cracked, reflections are liars. Ashes fall where the guilty once stood. The jukebox hums like a funeral choir. Echoes pounding through the neighborhood. Every scar is a candlelit vow. We hug the highway to from the bottle's rim. The guilty write stories in invisible ink, but we'll drag it all up from the edge of the break. At the TruCrime Cafe, the reckoning burns like a black bouquet. Every shadow will pay in the TruCrime Cafe.
All right. Love that. No matter how many times I hear it, it always gets me pumped up. It is great to be back with all of you beautiful people today. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you all. I see. 1 minute here. Is it up? Did I pin it already? I did. Okay, cool. I do have the link pinned, and I'll be bringing people up here just as soon as I get through this welcoming intro real quick part of this. It is so great to see you all again. Real quick, thank you for joining us today. Mandy Gillian, welcome back to you. Pretty much at 4 a.m. Love it. Love the name. I have a song called that. Pretty cool. Mama 5, welcome back to you. Dame Shutterbug, great to see you today. 1-1's in the house. What is up, brother? Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Karmic Retribution, always a pleasure. Mods, please make sure to drop these links for these awesome creators in here joining us, especially for Miss Karmic 2. Please and thank you. Nothing half-assed. Another great channel that needs their link dropped as well. Thank you for joining us. As always, Tattoo Girl, good gal, good to see you. Beach Babe, welcome back to you. Alicia JLA, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Tracy P4T, welcome to you. Jacqueline Keeley, Tomboy out there driving and listening, thank you. Be careful, please. Miss Paula Fitzhenry, the positive one. Great to see you, dear. Thank you for being here with us. Beach Babe, welcome back to you. As always, good to see you. Michelle F., welcome, welcome. All right, let me see. Cynthia Rose, RN, and Miss Lizzie Turtleballs. Great to see you both. Thank you for being here today. Virginia Wolf, my brother, great to see you. And happy Dagoversary, my friend, going on 3 years. Awesome stuff. Great to see you. In Stitches, welcome back, and congrats on 8 months. I think it's been longer, but either way, thank you for being part of our family. Jones in 1X, welcome to you. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. 31 months, brother. Great stuff. We appreciate that so very much. That goes for all of you that are part of this community and this family. You are all truly loved and appreciated more than you know. Every one of the beautiful meatballs in here. Thank you so much. Eddie's in the house today. Eddie will be joining me up here shortly, just if I can shut my mouth soon enough. Great to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. Moonlit Baby, welcome back to you. The last 24, my production manager, Mikey, in the house. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. Miss Kawanda, welcome to you. Great to see you today. As always, appreciated. Let me see here. Alice Faye, welcome to you. Hildreth Investigates. Mr. Dilly Dill is in the house. Jody Clydesdale, welcome to you, dear. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you very much. Moonflower's in the house. Always happy to see you, Moonflower. Thank you for joining us. Again, everybody, please make sure to hit the like button if you will and share it out. Sluther75 sliding in as well. Good to see you, Sluther. Thank you for joining me. All right, let me see. Show. Cinderella, Ella. Welcome to you. Good to see you today. Beverly Pike, welcome back. Senor Wazowski, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Jason Gist, welcome to you. WSU Mom is in the house. Thank you so much for being here, Kim. We appreciate you. I'm really trying to get a hold of you, dear. Really trying. Maybe you can join us up here tonight and talk a little bit about this. That'd be an interesting conversation for sure. It's up to you, of course, and how you're feeling. I hope you're feeling good. Thank you for joining us. On we go. All right. I think I covered everybody. If I didn't, I will catch up with you. Miss Tracy P4T, Crime and Chaos. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Boriqua, welcome to you. Do we have any mods in here? Thank you, Michelle, for that. Gifted a membership, and it looks like Mandy Gillian received that one. Thank you, Michelle. Welcome to the sauce, Mandy. Congrats, and thank you again. So very generous to you, Michelle. God bless. You are welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Carrie's Gold, welcome. I'm on a mission for a poll. No comment. On we go. Sylvia Hurley, good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. And I think I did get everybody. Guys, thank you so much for being here. And again, Edward, welcome, sir. Thank you for joining me. And can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can. And welcome to you.
I have a question for you and everybody.
Sure thing.
Maybe
sure
we
thing.
could do a poll.
Polls are good. Yes.
So the question is this. Are the real perpetrators alive and well today?
Ooh,
Do they exist anymore?
great poll. I'm going to do it. That's a good question. Can I make it a poll, Eddie?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. So, are the real perpetrators alive and well today? And I'm going to give you yes, no, and I have no damn clue. And these are just based on your thoughts, you guys. But anyway, those will be your answers to this poll. It's always good to start with a poll. There's your poll, Tomboy, you're looking for. So, and of course, nobody knows the answer. It's just I wonder, could they be? What you think of it? So, but it is a good question. Very good question. It leads very well into what we're doing today. So, for sure. Go ahead, and it's loaded in and rolling. So make sure you're voting, please, and thank you. So while we're waiting on that, how are you, sir? How was your day? How's your past few days been for you?
I'm doing well, thank you. The weather's been nice.
Yes, it has actually. You've been out there on your bike, getting around town.
Oh, yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, it's been beautiful here the past couple of days. A little too warm for me already, but I'll take that over what we had. So I am grateful for it. It's when it gets to be about June or July and it becomes 98 degrees with 100% humidity is when I become a complaining, whiny ass, and I don't like it. So we'll just say that. I should have done that poll differently. Maybe we'll do another one to follow it. Come on in. Let's see. We got 41 votes, and we have what seems to be 115 people in here. So maybe vote. Maybe a few more of you could vote. If you could, please, and thank you. It always helps. And
I have another. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. 1 second. We have 60 likes with 115 peeps. Please make sure you hit that like button, folks. It's very important to YouTube and myself and the channel, and it helps. And make sure you guys, if you can, leave a comment after the show. And yeah, it's 83 degrees here today in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, I should say. It's okay. I'm okay with it. It's sunny out. That's all that matters. So, and you were saying you have another. Go ahead.
Yeah, idea. I don't know if it'd be for a poll, but it would be
Okay.
just like a question to ask chat. You know, like put a 1 type of thing.
Yeah, no, that would work too. You can do that.
Okay.
Let me.
I can do it now if you want.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it, bud.
So put a 1 in chat if you believe the following concerning the state's case against Brian Coberger. It's all above board. It's a legitimate investigation. There's no deception, no cover-up, no foul play. If you or someone close to you, your son, daughter, neighbor, husband, wife, whatever, were ever in the judicial system, this is the type of due process that you would hope to have. Put a 1 in chat.
And what's the other number? Because, well, you know.
Well, if there's no ones, I guess we can just assume that
It'll be a 2.
no one believes
Yeah,
those following items
exactly.
about the state's case. So, but imagine like 3 years back, wouldn't it be what, 50-50 or maybe even 60-40 in favor of, yeah, nothing to see here, it's all good,
Yep.
right?
And it's interesting with what you just said. If you guys think back just 4 years ago, okay, the difference in the way a lot of us looked at as Kim has been saying it recently, not that she isn't calling it the justice system anymore. She's calling it the legal system because there is no justice to be true, So think about the way you looked at the legal system 4 years ago as compared to how you look at it today, folks, in 2026. It's an interesting theory and an interesting mind. Well, I'll be nice, and I was going to say mind fuck, but it truly is. Okay. So yeah, think about that. That's wild. And there's no ones, Eddie. So I think we got our answer there.
Right. I mean, this is a very, open-minded channel. We accept all points of view. There's no
Yes.
angry chat here. If you
No.
are one who dissents and have a different opinion. So my question is where'd they all go?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Very good
This
point.
is proof that they were just trolls. Notice how it works. When the news breaks, they all swarm into the conversation to artificially inflate the numbers on the one side of the narrative. But long
Right.
after the damage is done, when the truth finally comes out, they all dissipate.
Very interesting point there.
So what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway for everybody? This is like an open-ended question. There's no
That's a
right
good
or
question.
wrong.
Yeah, very good question. Based on what he just said, what does everybody take away from that?
Concerning this case, as it applies to this case.
It's a great question. Welcome, one.
We all think there's foul play. There's like a cover-up. It's not legitimate investigation.
Right.
This is not correct due process. There's something sinister going on.
What do you mean? IGG use their own special talents to double the sample size.
Yeah. And I'm glad you're up here with us, one at this point, first and foremost, because this is super important to me. SRB, one of our main people here in this crew in the background that I have that does this with me. He's been with me for a long time, and I know that 34 months is less than what it was, but thank you so much for being part of our family and our crew and doing what you do. She is the channel co-manager as well, and it puts up with a lot of shit for me and just all of it. So thank you for all of that, SRB. We appreciate you. We love you, and thank you, and hope to have you here for many, many, many more, many more moons. So thank you, hon, and congratulations, happy day anniversary. One scared you was up here, nobody knew. Yeah, go ahead, one with what you were saying there, bud.
I was just curious what not really new, but what do you guys think about this? I put it in the chat, but when I'm actually through my phone, so I can't really see the chat too. I can see it a little bit, but what do you guys feel about the Samantha thing? Like,
we can touch on that today.
They're trying to like silence her, right?
Right. Yeah, I think we can add that to what we're talking about today because it is a hot topic over the past couple of days. So absolutely, we can get into that at some point for sure. It's an interesting thing. Me personally, I'm not surprised. Uh, I kind of
Yeah.
expected it. They've been doing that to her for a while.
Yeah.
Um, she joined us here one night for just a short period of time. Was talking about some things, and I feel horrible for her.
Yeah.
Horrible for her. And you know what's sad? This is how bad it is. You know how many people out there have no idea who Samantha is? And that
Yeah.
should tell you. That should tell you they should have known who Samantha was. People should
Right.
know who Samantha is. She is, you know, another one of the Gonsalves children,
Right.
one of Steve's daughters. Okay. And there's so many people that have no clue who she is. And that to me says what it says, you know?
Right.
That's a problem. That is a problem, truly and honestly. Yeah, Kim, that's who we were talking about, Steve's other daughter.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean? Who the hell is Samantha? Like that's
Right.
sad to me, you guys. That is
Yeah.
sad. But hey, and I feel for her. Just like I explained to her the night that I was talking to her, it's like, I'm so sorry that you've been through what you've been through. And she made a statement one time. I can't remember exactly where she was. And she said, of course she's grieving the loss of her sister, of course. But moreover, she's grieving the loss of Steve Gonsalves, her dad.
Uh-huh.
That's not okay, folks. Yeah, Steve, she has been on Outcast a few times. I think I even talked to her over there one time too. Moreover, she's grieving that loss, is what she said, and that'll break your heart thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why does that have to be? Now, their own personal internal stuff within their family, that's their business. I
Right.
get it, but she's a person. She's a human being. She's part of this, whether they want her to be or not. You know, yeah. For those, yeah. Steve has an older daughter. For those of you that didn't know that, see, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. That's what
yeah.
I'm
People don't
saying.
know. Yeah.
That's what I was meaning, dude. Like people don't
Yeah.
realize that, and that's you should be realizing what a problem that is, you guys.
Yeah.
That you didn't know that. Okay. So anyway, it's a big deal to me, and she's been shut down every direction.
Yeah.
And there's been threats that have been made to her. She's been followed and watched and all sorts of crazy shit that she shouldn't have to go through any of that. She lost her sister, but moreover, like she said herself, she's grieving the loss of her father. Okay. That is sad to me. And that's, again, I'm not going to get into that too deeply. That's their problem. But, it looks like at this point she's being shut down. I
Yeah.
have to agree with 1-1.
Yeah. Like they don't want her saying a word on anything.
Right. There's a lot of people are saying here what Tattoo Gal says too. And that's, I mean,
Yeah.
shame on that situation. My family is very large. I have 7 children. Most of you know. So most of you that don't know, surprise, yes, this guy has 7 kids. Like I said, you got to be good at something, guys. So now they're not all mine. I didn't create every one of these children. Okay. My wife and I did a Brady Bunch type thing. I had 3, she had 3. We got together, we created the 8th one or the 7th one. Sorry, I'm giving myself another kid. I don't need it. The 7th
Are
one.
you?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yes, exactly. I didn't even know that, but that's how. But I come from a conjoined family, where we brought 2 families together. It is difficult. Don't get me wrong, but it's not at the same time. Okay, all of my children. I have 3 stepchildren. I have 4 biological children. Yeah, that equals 7. Sorry, guys. The math is killing me today.
Huh.
The point is, it can be done if you want it to be done. We don't call each other step anything. None of us. Now they have a father. That's their father. I'm their stepdad. Yeah, but none of them ever called me dad or anything. They call me by my name because I came into their lives when they were old enough to know. Joe. But when they refer to me, it's my parents, not my stepdad. When I talk about them, they're my kids. You guys never hear me say my stepchildren. Never. Okay. So Hey, Anna D, welcome to you. A lot of people call them bonus kids, you know, so on and so forth. They are. They're a bonus. I'm grateful for every one of them. Um, but they've never felt or ever had to feel alienated from our family because on either side. Because as if you're good parents, you don't allow that to happen. And if it would have ever been an issue, my wife and I would have never been married. Never. And vice versa for her. Okay. If I would have been able to accept them, it would have never happened, guys.
Yeah.
My current wife, my only wife, I should say, the creature, I try to forget about that marriage. But anyway, the mother of my children, the original, the creature, as I call her, um, they don't look to her as a mother. I hate to say that. My children don't. They're all grown adults. You know, I have a 32-year-old, a 31-year-old, and or no, I'm sorry, 30, 32 going on 33, 30, 30 going on 31. No, she just turned 32. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I forget. There's too many of them. But anyway, 29 through 33. Well, I'll go that way, okay? And then my youngest one is 19. But anyway, they've never looked at her truly and honestly as a full-blown their mother, as a good mother. They look to my wife as their mother because she's always given them the love, the affection, the things that children need to flourish from a parent. I mean, no, Kathy, I know I'm hurting myself trying to think here. It's hurting me bad. But anyway, and like WSU Kim said, I don't treat him any different. I never have. You know, I treat him all the same. She knows, guys. We've had private conversations. She has as many children as I do. We've gotten close over that during conversations because of those things, because it's hard, you know. But anyway, you don't separate and alienate children from a situation, a marriage, a family, none of it. And she, in my opinion, should feel just as close as the rest of the siblings do, but she don't. And that's heartbreaking to me and sad. So that's what has happened. And it's got to be based on, this is again my opinion, okay? One parent's feelings. I'll just put it that way. I'm not going to throw it out there because it's not my business to, but I feel like it is because of one of the parents' feelings and acceptance levels, if that makes any sense. As a father, it should have never been allowed to happen. That's my own opinion, and I'd say that to anybody, you know. So, blue-eyed butterfly, good to see you. Wonderful to have you back. Thank you for being here. We missed you as well. Music was fantastic. Good to see you. Lizzie Turtleballs, welcome to you. She says awful things about us, and we all have tried and tried. Yeah, we have, and we will continue to. But that's okay. You look at it how you want to. It's not going to change my mind. It's not going to change anybody else's in here's mind. WSU Mom has been doing this. I started on this case November 14th of 22. She came shortly thereafter that, and she's been on other channels as well. And still, today, even though the case is closed, is still here trying to get answers and figure out why. So that says a lot to me. There's a lot of us that have done that. So it is what it is. 1 minute here, guys. So the poll, Eddie's poll, are the real perpetrators alive and well today? 64% said yes. 26% said I have no damn clue. And 10% said no. Wow.
I wanted you to add another choice on there. It should have been or some of them, but
yeah. No, I mean that should have been how I did it. You're right, bud. But yeah, some of them could still be alive. Are they all alive? I don't think so either. I don't. I think that the direction my mind has gone recently with who I think could be involved, and we're going to discuss that and why. We're going to discuss that too. I think we may have lost a couple of them personally. I don't know. Eddie, did you have any thoughts on that since you asked the question?
Yeah.
Or go ahead, bud. Go for it. Thanks for joining us, by the way, It's great to have you here, bud.
Yeah.
Well, anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but so if they're alive, then that means authorities are covering for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the question with that would be why?
Right.
And that's coming from the mouth of a NYPD police officer that wants to know the answer to that question. Thank you.
Yes.
Active police officer in law enforcement today as we speak, wanting to say, and he's the one calling this out, saying the same things we are. This is an active law enforcement official. I see something wrong. Why are you protecting the people that committed this crime and not the person that didn't? So
Right.
that didn't sound right, but you know what I meant. Anyway,
Yeah.
great question. Great question.
Yeah.
And that is the big question, Eddie, is why? Why are you protecting these people? What do they do to you, or what do they have on you, or what do you fear of them? Those are my thoughts as to why you would protect somebody in a situation like this. Why do you fear them? What do they have over your head, or what do you owe them? That's how I think about it, if that makes any sense. What other reason would there to be to protect these people? Hey, Fizz. The Fizzness is in the house. JP, good to see you, brother. I don't know. Any thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, the crime scene cleanup really bothers me
Me too, because
I
Go
don't
ahead.
believe it was just Dylan walking. With what I see from Dylan, it's not Dylan walking around with a mop. Like,
No.
did she help with it? Maybe, possibly, but there's something. Many other people involved in that.
Yeah, Lana started the gears turning in my head about that after Saturday. I'm pretty sure you might have heard the show, and she said when we asked that same question about the cleanup, this and that, it made me start thinking. And I know a lot of people refuse to go this direction and don't want to accept going this direction. She said law enforcement, period. And I believe, as I said, and I'm sure one being an active law enforcement officer can attest to this. Who better to clean up a murder crime scene than somebody that knows exactly what to look for at a crime scene?
Right.
Law enforcement, folks. And I'm not saying
Right.
they're all involved. I didn't say that. I've never believed that. But the cleanup in itself has to be at least remotely
Yeah.
related to
Right.
law enforcement, in my opinion.
And I can't believe I don't know if we're gonna get it. I know we put a FOIA request in for the
Yeah.
AVL.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know what AVL is, not all of them, but most police vehicles, including unmarks, it's basically a vehicle like it has GPS coordinates. It can tell whether they're at a certain time if the car was turned on or off. It can tell you the speed of the car at a given point, and usually it will. It comes in different increments, so it might be like within a few minutes it updates and tells you these different metrics of the car.
Yeah, definitely.
And that, to me, that would be super important. Of course, yeah, obviously body camera stuff, but the body camera only tells you something if they turn the body camera on, right? If there's or there could be an instance where they're supposed to use the body camera, but then they can just, they forgot to turn it on, or they can make up whatever nonsense. AVL, it's there. There's nothing to turn on. It's there. So the issue is just getting the data. It's the same as getting, we need to get some of the other cell phone data from some of these people that they probably will never release. But they're never going to release us. We're never going to get the info from Rosie and Tisdale, their cell phones. They're not going to give us. You're going to need a warrant to get their personal phones or whatever.
Sure.
But while they work, that's public information. Where they were working? Where it's not their car, it's the police department. So they work for the city, they work for the town. Where was their car at a certain location? And that can give valuable information, because if Rosie did have something involved, or whether he had some kind of involvement with Kaylee or not, but just the fact of him going to the house, we would probably
Right.
be able to get that from the AVL information.
Good point.
And it
Very
would
good
be
point.
it'd be huge. And I can see a situation where it's not far out of the realm. Again, all speculation, not that we don't know. If Rosie did have some kind of relationship thing, or he was going there to speak to Kaylee, or maybe one of the other girls, who knows, did his business, left,
Right.
and then the stuff, and then whatever happened, and he knows his DNA and stuff is all over that place.
Yeah.
He knows that
and-
he's there. Did he
and-
did he freak out and say, "Oh, like they're gonna blame me. They're gonna blame me for this crime"?
or worse over, they're gonna find my DNA in there,
Right.
and then we're gonna have to talk about why I was in there.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't look good for Moscow PD. And then you got to explain infidelities, interactions, just a lot of things that you shouldn't want to explain as a law enforcement officer.
Right.
If that's true.
Right.
That's a good point, sir. Very good point.
Right. I mean, like footsteps outside and things like that. They can, stuff like that is easily, you can come up with stories that he was there the next day and whatever. But
Right.
why would his DNA or other forms of DNA be found all over, in the house, or like that would be really hard to explain. So
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if he was purposely brought in to spend the night in that house for security purposes, to watch
Yeah.
over the house, just to make sure that his DNA was purposely put in that house. I've wondered. We talked about this the other night on Crimes
Yeah.
After Dark, and it's actually kind of an interesting point. I agree with that one. Very interesting point. Any specific thoughts on that point there, Eddie, by any chance?
No.
No. Okay.
Getting back
I
to
got
the
you.
other,
Yeah.
for the record, I don't think the real perpetrators exist anymore.
Got you. Like all of them, or just
Well,
some?
it's hard to. That would be hard.
Yeah.
Who knows how many there are.
Exactly.
But so if we all agree that the authorities are covering for them, now that includes authorities from the top down to the bottom, right? I mean, they're all involved in
Yeah.
the cover up.
Yeah.
Right.
They're all like striving for the same goal. They're doing the same action work. So whoever they're in that point of view, if they're still alive, and there's multiple of them, which there are, what happens when one of them speaks? Like what if they get religion? One of them wants to talk suddenly for whatever, he's dying of cancer. You just gotta get it out there so he can get right.
Deathbed. Yeah. Got you.
I mean, they're all gonna just risk their reputations, their careers, their freedom. They might go to prison for this, right? I mean,
Well,
Sure.
yeah. Well, we've said many times, like that's probably the key thing that will tear everything wide open would be some kind of whistleblower. That would,
Yeah.
that would, whatever part of involvement that they had, some kind of whistleblower. If some officer comes forward and says, I didn't do the murders, but I was involved in, cleaning up the house at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It's huge thing. So, yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. And
I can't for the life of me, I can't see that. That's not real. That's not real life, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
So just for the sake of discussion, so throw out the theory. Is it fraternity? Is that? I mean, is that the leading theory? That's who they're covering for? Is that?
a lot of people think that. Yeah. Me personally, no. I've kind of. I've kind of turned a corner, and
Yeah.
I'm struggling. I'm really struggling with it. But I've been looking at some things recently. I was actually talking to Lee from Crimes After Dark this morning
Hmm.
about what I was going to be doing because of some things I've been thinking on, and yeah, which we're going to get into that too. But back to what you were saying, Eddie. I believe that one of the main theories is you know the fraternity thing, so on and so forth, and it still could have an involvement in what I think might be going on. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, Jeff.
And I don't ask it to ridicule,
Yeah.
but the reason is because it has to work, right? I mean, if we're gonna like try to think about that as a possibility, then it has to tick all the boxes, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but some people involved too. Remember, might not know every part of what happened. You have to remember
Which
that.
yeah,
Yeah, which is
that could be true.
so. What I mean by that is there could be a situation where, for instance, like you know, okay, so like Tisdale is there. He's Rosie's partner. If they were involved in helping clean up or whatever, they might not know who did the murder or had anything to do with the murders. But just like a small town, there could be some other officers who they're friends with or whatever, and you don't know. This guy could be like,
Like, and
"Look,
you only need to
I
know
was
on a
there." Right?
need
Rosie
to
could be
know
like, "Look,
basis.
I was right." Rosie could tell the guys like, "Look, I was in there. I was with Kaylee or whoever, whatever. I was with Kaylee. They're gonna think I murdered these people, and you guys know me. I did that. It's not what happened, but
Sure.
I need your help. We gotta. I mean, there's no question. There is massive cleanup in the
Yeah. No,
I
I
mean,
agree with that.
I've never seen. I mean, uh, I've seen many like crime scenes and stuff. I mean, just no footsteps or very, very, very few footsteps, I should say. Or
Yeah, the things that were cleaned, like I said, was known what needed to
right,
be cleaned. So yeah.
right,
But um yeah, I do believe that there are some people involved in this that they only know things based on a need to know basis. I'll say that.
right,
I've said that before.
right,
And that still goes in. Okay, Eddie says and has said for years. Everybody that's involved, everybody that's on board is on board. End of story. They're on board. Now there are people that can be on board without even realizing it. Okay, people that come in and punch a time clock day after day that don't
yeah,
know that they're doing anything other than what they're supposed to be doing, just doing their jobs. I do feel
right.
that way. But other than that, I do believe the rest of the people are definitely involved. You know, due to knowledge of what they're doing. It is what it is. That's all. I'm not saying there's 500 different people involved in this, looking at this every day,
Oh
going, "Yep,"
yeah,
that's not
and
possible.
this is why, and this is what pisses me off. Uh, Bill Thompson, he knows a lot of he knows the freaking evidence that they
Oh,
had,
he
like
knows.
all
I think
different
he
stuff.
knows.
He
Yeah,
knows, and he knows, you know, the very careful wording in the PCA and all the nonsense.
yeah.
He's well aware. Like he knows BK doesn't have fog lights on the car. He knows all this stuff.
Just like I said yesterday, he knows the truth. That he has known the truth, but he can't put it out. Okay, he can't. He didn't. Every bit of this was done purposely, like I said yesterday. Um, to go with this whole story, guys. And I know that Bill Thompson knows the truth as much as I believe that Ashley Jennings does, as much as I believe that Gilbertson and Payne know. And at some point, to some extreme, I think the families, at least one of the families, knows quite a bit more of the truth than they have let on. I do believe that some of it was probably kept from them on purpose for whatever reasons, but yeah, I do believe that. And like I said yesterday, Bill Thompson did nothing, folks, but use the media as a tool to prosecute this man, and then they started backpedaling everything that they knew as soon as it was done. We all saw that yesterday and saw it before. It is what it
Yeah.
is. So to play into who really did this and why you did it, some of those things play into that as well. But again, with what Eddie was saying, are they still? Eddie doesn't believe that any of them were with us, however many there were, but that they're not with us anymore. So, with the direction I've been going over the past week in my mind, I haven't really talked much about it. I believe that it's plausible that at least one or two of them, out of 3 to 4 of them, are gone. I do believe that. And it could be because somebody had a little too much to drink or got all whacked out on drugs or something and started talking, and that became a problem. Okay, so they had to eliminate that problem, and I think that's what may have happened with that person, possibly. I'm starting to see why other people see that person as being possibly involved, for sure. So, there and again, we're going to get into that, but there's a lot that I believe, and a lot more people involved that are involved. Everybody's going to say, why? Why would you protect these people then? Why wouldn't you just put it on them and let them deal with it? Let's think about that. What did we see happen in Delphi? Okay. And how many people in Delphi are involved within what I believe is the reasoning behind the Delphi murders? A lot. The whole town. The attorney himself, when he did his interview, came on and said the whole town knows about this. They're involved in this. It's a part of the community. Same thing. Okay. Same thing in this case, in my opinion. There's people that are involved in this that are in positions that they shouldn't be. Attorneys, judges, not diplomats, but politicians. They're
Right,
involved. Their
right.
involvement level, yeah.
And that's why one of the threads that we've talked about a few times, yes, the thing is the big thing, like JJ always says, and Lee and you and everyone, follow the money. But along with follow the money is follow the promotions. Who got promoted soon after this? Who was given awards? Who got promoted? Who left? Those are the people you have to look at carefully. It doesn't mean that everyone that left was involved, but it raises question.
Right.
Why did Rosie? Why isn't he there? He got cop of the. He was there for like 6 months around that at that time when this happened. He was on probation with MPD. He got like rookie of the year, and then he got like cop of the year, I believe, the next year. Why did he leave?
And somebody said that he was still active on their roster up to 2024, which I was told something different. But if that's true, he
still left not that long after. I mean,
yeah, very good point. So, there's a lot of people that left the police force, folks, during and after this. From the beginning, Lanier left pretty early on and went into early retirement. Interesting. Many people have left Moscow Police Department during this investigation, before and after. Okay, which is odd to me. I mean, I don't know. I know you work for a much, much larger police department, but is the turnover rate normal to see people coming and going as much as we saw?
Not like that.
I didn't think so.
Not people who are like involved in. I mean, you get people who retire and stuff.
Yeah. But younger officers that haven't had that much time.
We get young officers that might go on to like, a different department and stuff like that. It happens. But if you have someone that's getting like, rookie of the year, cop of the year, they're probably on pace to get into a good position or a good place in the department. It's odd to see someone like that just it can happen, yeah, but I just think with how small this department is and how many people retired or left is like the big red flag to me.
Yeah, and another thing, probably 6 months into this, Molly, our videographer, myself, Mama Bear, Mikey, we spent some time looking into them and like their pay rates and stuff like that. Some of these guys were making upwards of a couple $100,000 a year. As a police officer, something's not right there. I'll just say. And I'm not going to delve too much into that, folks, but something is not right there. There's something that just doesn't make sense with that. Now, unless it was put out the wrong way, I don't know, but something's not right with that. So it makes you want to look even deeper and think about things when it comes to that part of it. Okay. And there have been many, many issues within that department. Many, many things that have been looked at. They closed the jail down because they're building a new one. They did this, they did that. And we also have their, their sister department next door over in Pullman. Wow. The things that Pullman PD has put out to the world. There's a lot of very dirty things going on over there, and they work side by side with MPD. So if Pullman PD has these issues and they're working side by side with MPD, you can't tell me that MPD don't have these issues too. I'll just say it. That they could have these issues. I'll say it that way. So it's definitely something to look at. So anyway, I don't mean to jump all over the place, but being that he brought that up is something I wanted to throw out there. So, if what direction or what point were you making, Eddie? I know we're bouncing around a little bit, and I apologize for that. When you asked that question about are they still alive? Do we believe they are? This now, I know you usually have a pretty decent point to things when you bring them up. So what were you thinking?
I got a further point to make on that. Let's get back to the other one where, put a chat if you think everything's above board in this investigation. Nothing to see
put a
here.
1 in the
it's
chat,
all
right.
good. And we left it at, what is the takeaway?
Yes.
What would be the takeaway? What's your takeaway, Daigle or 1-1?
So based on what you said, most everybody in the chat definitely believes that this is not on the up and up. It's not a day-to-day investigation. It's not good. Okay. We all believe that, most of us. And what is my takeaway from people not thinking that? Well, it's obvious to the world what it is, that there's corruption. It's crooked. It's not what you would expect an investigation in a police department to be like. We'll say that, or anything within this investigation. It's all corrupt. I'll just say that to make it simple. That's my feelings. And of course, 1-1.
No, I agree with that, and the transparency is a huge thing. I mean, then how do we improve, and how do we get better at crime scenes, and how do we improve in certain things is by reviewing, body camera and responses. Oh, and maybe you should have done this, or maybe you should have done that, or that if where it seems like, at least in Idaho, they're going the opposite way. They want everything hidden. They want more stuff hidden, and they just trying to throw it down, into mainstream media that, this is just about the internet sleuths that want to make a buck, whatever, and that's not what it's about at all. The police and detectives and all the law enforcement were not above the law. If anything, I tell people all the time, this is a problem that I have with. I've part of my career, I helped train new cops out of the academy, and it takes a little bit to get used to. We have great authority and power to be able to remove someone's freedom from them. It's great, a great power that is given to us. But when you stand and you take the oath to uphold the Constitution, we actually have less rights than regular civilians. We have less rights. So, I mean, it's and Idaho is not the only place that this nonsense goes on. But we have there's plenty of corruption and plenty of nonsense that happens where I work as well, but not on that level. I mean, I said it before on Crimes After Dark. We have the police commissioner actually just signed a new decree or whatever you want to call it. Within 30 days, when we have a police involved shooting, within 30 days, the body camera footage of all officers involved is put out there to the public. So you can see, you can look up NYPD, their official YouTube site or whatever, and you can see all like a bunch of officer involved shootings, and they show pretty much everything. They don't really black
Right.
stuff out.
Dago, my takeaway.
That's what I was going to ask you. What was yours?
It means he didn't do it. Brian Coberger did not do this.
Well, yeah.
Because in a normal world, if you have the right guy, you don't risk mucking it up by having your case fall apart when your work product has been exposed. Except that's kind of insulting to the minor leagues, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, there are rules and stuff in place for a reason. The DNA that they have, however it got there, if it is BK's DNA, however they got it and it was on there, it's not even a large enough sample. They're not even allowed to use it, and that's what Ann Taylor. That's one of the big arguments that she was trying to give. I mean, that's the main thing, the main piece of evidence that got the arrest warrant. Besides the fog lights, besides the suspect vehicle and everything else that they had in there, the main thing is the DNA. And IGG doubled the sample size, which you're not allowed to do, and it's a Brady violation. How is it a Brady violation? Because they have to explain. You have to show your homework. What did you do to double the size? What did you do to get this? And they refuse to show it. I mean,
that's a very good point. Very good point. Hold on a minute here. I want to. The doc said one needs to explain why an active law enforcement officer is creating sock accounts in the name of Dylan Mort. Is this normal procedure? Who's ever done that, Doc?
Why an active?
Why would you point that out to you?
Yeah.
If you're talking about that Dylan Mort account, that has nothing to do with any law enforcement officers that I know.
I know, not that I know of either.
I know who that person is, and he's not a law enforcement officer, Doc, just so you know. If you're talking about the same person that I am, they were on, no, 1-1 didn't do that, Doc.
No.
That's not 1-1, my friend.
That's not me.
1-1 is not that Dylan Mort. That person's name is, I know his name, and I'm not going to dox anybody out here, but it's not 1-1 by no point whatsoever. By any means is that him. That's a joke. But anyway. So anyway, moving on. That person is all over Twitter, and they have we know their real name, and it's not 1-1 by any chance. So
no,
that's crazy. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, like Eddie said, that's a fact, guys, and that's something we've talked about yesterday. We've been talking about, and I will be pushing it even more. A lot of people still have the thought that Brian Coberger could have been involved. And that he just didn't do it alone is the new feeling. You could ask me all day. I'm going to tell you very comfortably. I believe Brian had nothing to do with this at this point. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Okay? I'm in agreement with you. For a while, I thought that. I thought that as well. The possibility of maybe he was involved, whatever. But with all the stuff that we have now, I don't think I'm in agreement with you. I think
it took a while, and you can ask Eddie, because Eddie's been here from pretty much day one on this too, and you can ask him how probably frustrating it was for him. But it took me a while. I sat on the fence and I said, I don't know. He could be involved. He could be a driver. He could be there is, and I'm sorry, and I've said this past couple of days. I'm gonna say it, scream it from the top of the mountain. In my opinion, my honest and true opinion, Brian Christopher Coberger has absolutely nothing criminal to do with this case. Nothing. That's how I feel. And then you're gonna have to show me some real, some real serious proof to change my mind at this point. There's no way. No way. Okay. Nothing that they have shown me, nothing that you could show me would ever make me feel that way. Ever make me feel that way. He has nothing to do with this, folks. On a criminal side, nothing. Okay. That's a fact. That is a fact. And here's the problem. As I proved yesterday, and I showed you that yesterday, guys, and never got to explain why. When we see Bill Thompson backpedaling on certain things and Gilbertson and Payne backpedaling on certain things that they let the media run with just to make sure they could get their court of public opinion conviction, because that's all that was. Then they backpedaled on it to cover their own asses so people couldn't come at them and say, you knew this wasn't true and you knew that wasn't true, but you allowed for it. And they did. And now they're trying to say that, oh, well, no, it's not this. And no, we wanted there to be a connection, but there's not any connection at all because he didn't do it. The whole bullshit that Thompson's talking about with why they didn't have him allocute, because he couldn't. He wasn't there. You cannot tell somebody about a crime you committed if you had nothing to do with the crime. You cannot tell somebody you committed this crime and did this, this, and this if you weren't there. He didn't do it. Brian Coberger, in my absolute opinion, had nothing to do with the criminal side to this case at all. He wasn't in that house. He wasn't around that house. He didn't know anybody in the house. He didn't attack anybody in the house. There was no connection to anybody in that house. There was no stalking. There was no social media attachments. There was nothing. He knew nobody. Nobody. So, in turn, like Eddie said, he didn't do it. And that, in my opinion, has been proven time and time again. And there's people that still want that to be believed because they know he didn't do it, in my opinion. Sorry for rambling.
No, and even before the evidence has come out to show us, as more and more evidence comes out, it just illustrates that point more and more. But even before any of that evidence that we've recently been getting, it's just common sense that you wouldn't, if you did a thorough investigation, you would already know all the players. You wouldn't just, identify the driver and be content with having the four, people who were the muscle that were in the home and did the homicides. You wouldn't be content with just getting the driver.
Right. Exactly.
That doesn't make sense. And what if he said, yeah, I was a driver? How come?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
So what about the other four? I mean, you'd look ridiculous as the prosecutor.
Yeah. Oh, shit. One fell out. Okay. Yeah, I agree fully. I absolutely agree. It doesn't make any sense at all.
So ideally, in other words, you would want someone who has nothing to do with this at all.
An outsider that had nothing to do with this being involved in this area, as they've said, so on and so forth. But no, I agree. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Why they think people are going to believe it? But go ahead.
Before we move on, I'm just going to put this out there real quick. Maybe some people need to hear it. I need to get it off my chest. I don't think it'll take too long. And that is this. Authorities knew immediately what happened. They may not have known all the details and the identities of all the characters involved, but they knew it could only be one possibility. This fact alone explains the delay in the 911 call. We can't prove it,
right?
But it is the only likely explanation for it. In other words, it's not the college students, AKA their surviving roommates, scheming on how to explain all of this, but rather it's the authorities cooking up the backstory. Authorities weren't wondering what happened. They already knew. So me role playing here a bit, acting like, the investigators, rubbing my chin and wondering, let's see, was it the North Koreans? No. Was it the Ottomans? No. Was it the Comanche? No. It eliminates even something getting out of hand. Do you understand that? Like if something wasn't planned, something getting out of hand, it eliminates that too. Because if they knew immediately and they were cooking up the backstory even before the 911 call, and it was something getting out of hand in which they could not have anticipated, then what are they covering up for before the investigation began? They must have known something before November 13th, 2022. And what happened that night? The only type of motive that would explain this would be like retribution. Like, in other words, business. This is business, a retribution.
Makes sense.
That ticks the boxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, you guys. Sorry, Eddie, I don't mean to interrupt. One had to run, help his wife with something. That's why he jumped down, guys. So he said sorry, he had to pop out real quick, but he'll try to be back beforehand. Anyway, go ahead, Eddie.
Because they're covering up before the investigation even began.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there were things said beforehand. What's up, Moto? Good to see you, brother. And they went into immediate mode, that whatever mode you want to call it, like almost immediately.
It explains how there's like, for an unconscious, they're sending not just one police vehicle, but they're all pretty much like in file, staggered. One shows up, he no more than gets upstairs, takes a look at the one bedroom and is walking down the stairs and meets another one coming up.
Yeah.
They knew before the 911 call. We all know it. We've had all the pieces of this, and we've been talking about it for so long.
And I'll be honest with you. I believe now, based on where my theory as to who did this, possibly where it's going, that it was known and it was put out within the community, possibly, that something was going to happen. Okay? Meaning within the campus, the town of Moscow, and there in turn, police would have heard about things like this, that this is going to probably go down at some point. This might be happening. This is what's going to happen. Stuff like that is what I'm saying. And I believe that very plausibly within maybe, hell, even within a week or so before this, that it was put out to the community. Not like they didn't put up flyers saying, hey, somebody's going to get hurt next week or something. You know what I'm saying? Word of mouth gets around within the community. Some shit's going to go down here near campus or something, or on campus or something. Keep your eyes open or something. I think that was something that may be possible, that it was put out that way. In turn, when this hits with what Eddie's saying, it's almost like it was be prepared. Okay, let me say it this way. You guys need to be on point, be prepared. This is going to go down. Something's going to go down. When it happened, they knew. Here we are. Here it comes. Let's deal with this. That's kind of how I see it. And that's kind of what I take from this at this point. And I believe that because of the people that I believe are involved in this. That's how I'll say it. So, and there are higher up people involved, because the entity, I'll put it that way, the entity that I believe is responsible includes a lot of different types of people in a lot of different positions. I'll put it that way. Okay. And there's a lot of other things that need to be re-included in this, I should say, that were just dusted off to the side conveniently for this to make sense for me, that I've been thinking on, looking at, listening to, going back over. One of the main things that bothers me, I know people don't think it's important. A lot of people don't think it has anything to do with anything. But just for instance, just to tell you where I'm going with this, and it's a little sideways from where we're talking, but understand, because we were going to talk about this. The car in Oregon, okay? The white car, the white Elantra that was found abandoned and broke down in Oregon. That was dismissed very quickly, conveniently, and completely removed from basically people's, faces, from not people's from faces, but from their conversations very fast. And it was, it just, it doesn't exist. It doesn't need to be part of the investigation, this and everything else. It's just gone. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Kim, if you can see it, you're welcome to join us as always, dear. Or maybe you can't see it. Is it up there? Is that how you got in here, Eddie, from that link up there?
No.
No. Okay, I'll just drop another one in the chat. Hold on a minute. The chat's flying anyway. I can't see it. What the hell is going on with my mouse? Hold on, you guys. 1 second, Kim. Mrs. Come on, damn it. What is going on? There we go. All right, it's in the chat, Kim. Sorry, I thought I pinned it. How'd you get up here, Eddie? It is pinned. I see it there. But that's not the one you used, so no problem. I got you. You came in pretty quick. Anyway, that's just one. Go ahead.
You had put one in chat early on in your stream, and it has scrolled all the way. It's
I got you. Got you. That's what I was just thinking. But yeah, that's just one of the things that was dismissed very quickly, and it shouldn't have been. That's part of this, in my opinion. A big part of this is all I'm going to say. I don't believe, and you guys know I don't believe in coincidence here. Not in this. Coincidence is real. It does exist. I'm going to tell you right now, coincidence does not exist in this case. Period. That car in Oregon was dismissed right away, conveniently. The names that are attached to that car were also dismissed with it. It shouldn't have been. It never should have been. I'm very uncomfortable with that. So, no. Welcome, Miss Kim. How are you, dear?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I am wonderful. It's good to hear your voice, and I'm hoping you're doing well.
I am doing well. I'll tell you. I don't want to talk about it because but I had colon cancer and I have the gene for it. And get your colonoscopies because you don't have to die. It's only a death sentence if you don't go to the doctor.
It's actually my mother-in-law just got results back on a test she took for that, and she's going to be dealing with the same thing. So
Is she? It doesn't hurt. And I've got to tell you, one time only in this whole year have I taken. They gave me a shot of a pain medication. That's the only thing I've taken, other than ibuprofen and Tylenol. And with colon cancer, they've made so many strides that you don't even have to go through chemo most of the time to get it. So,
well,
but
I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are good. You've been in my prayers every day since I heard that. So, we love you over here and we appreciate you. So, God bless, hon.
Well, life is scary and I am blessed. So, there you go.
Absolutely.
All is great. So,
yes, good.
And yes, and I hope your mother-in-law's great too. I will light a candle for Mass.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Welcome, Moto. Good to see you, brother. But no, I'm glad to hear that, dear, and it's wonderful to have you back.
Thank you very much. I keep trying to get back to you through my email, but everything's kind of crashed.
That's okay. So, I'm gonna drop my phone number in the back chat, the private chat again. Okay. You can click on it if you can, and that way that you can get it. So you can call me at any time. Anyway,
right, and I will call you. Yeah, I will reach out for sure. I just have to tell you, Eddie, I love hearing Eddie's questions. They're so provocative. Like they're so. I don't even know if that's proper verbiage, but they're so. It's like, yeah, maybe, right? And it takes you back to kind of thinking through all of those things, when you've been out of it a little bit. And that's a good thing to do because we're not all like, it's been a long time. I'm glad I took notes. It's been a really long time. I'm glad I started writing things down.
Yes, ma'am.
And these kids are all getting married now. Truly, and my daughter's been 8. Oh my gosh, the bridesmaids are just awful. And 8 weddings, but these kids are all together. They're all out there. You know, a lot of them are marrying each other.
Yeah, yes. And do you realize that your number, it looks like a number connected to your name is on your avatar?
No, what number?
It's
Oh,
I don't know what kind of a number it is, but I don't know if it's important, but it's right after your WSU mom name.
well, that'd be my phone number. There you go. You got it. Write it down quick.
I did write that down now, but you might want to go change that, hon. I don't want the whole world calling
I
you.
don't even know why it went on there.
I don't either, but
Oh, I won't answer them. Just text first, and I'll answer. Sometimes I'll answer. Whatever.
please don't call her, everybody, please.
Oh,
Okay?
you know, unless you have a real question,
Yeah, go
honestly,
for it.
or a fundraiser or something, go for it. Yeah, call me. Don't call me to harass me because I'm just gonna hang up on you.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't want anybody harassing her at all. So,
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you get a chance, though, go in, click the little thing on the side and change that so that's not on there, dear,
Okay,
please.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh.
While you're doing that, Moto, what's happening, brother? It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, not too much, Dago. Just getting home a little late from work, but you guys, I've been listening to you guys there in the truck. Yeah, it's been a great show.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. I do know that, like I said, as I was stating, one of the main things that I believe should have not ever been done, because they shouldn't, that white Elantra in Oregon being discounted the way it was. I'm sorry, I disagree with that very much now.
That's too much of a coincidence. That I'm sorry. It just is. That's
Well,
Etsy's car, and then
and
there
it
was.
also had another name connected to it too, Kim, on the title itself, which is a big problem for me. For the
Oh,
for those that didn't know that,
I. Whose name?
yeah, I did. I told her real quick. Busy, thank you. Candace Bailey was an active name on the title, which is Jesse
Candace.
James Bailey's wife here.
8. Is she related to Emma Bailey?
They're not related closely. There could be, like
But
an extended
distantly?
relation or something, but that became a big problem when but yeah, Estee's name was on that title at one point in time, but then Candace
Right.
Bailey's name is on that title more recent as one of the
Right.
owners. There's no way in hell that that's a coincidence. Come on. Okay. And I know where you live at, you know who he is. Very, very clearly know who he is. So, or where you lived at. My apologies. But he was there was a huge bust. I don't know how many months after this murder happened with his group, big time. Okay. In Washington. So that name being connected to that car, that coincidence? No, that doesn't exist. And I can show you the drug bust that happened, guys. It was live. It was huge, and I think it was 6 months. But Jesse James Bailey was a big, big name in that area for that connection. Okay. Now, was he connected to another entity? It's very possibly. It was February of 23. Thank you, Tomboy. I knew it was something within months of that. So think about that, the timing here, folks. Okay. 4 months. Interesting. Very interesting. Tomboy is going to be super excited because I have some things that have been stewing in my brain recently that she's been telling me about for 3 years. Talking about to me for 3 years. So I'm finally jumping on board of that train along with her. So she's going to be super excited later on when we talk. But yeah, I can't get past that stuff now. There's a name that has been being bounced around a lot. Pavarotti talks about it all the time. A lot of other people have been talking about it. And I have a huge. Are they connected with what I just said? I can't tell you that yet. But I can tell you that coincidences don't happen in this case. They just don't. So I have issues.
One thing that it's been bothering me, Dago, and it's kind of ever since they released a few of the documents about the DNA, and they said it was someone, like there was traces of someone that was partly native, And so
That's
for the
100%.
longest time, I've been scouring the photos, and I've been like, okay, well, who looks like they're like, is there any frat members that looks like they have, some native blood in them? And it's
No, but
how do you tell?
I can tell you somebody that does.
Well, Mowich, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
he was a known criminal, and they already ran that bloody fingerprint through all the databases, and
Right.
he didn't come up. So it must be somebody without a criminal record.
Did they run it through Idaho or did they run it through Washington?
I think they ran it through. The Idaho fingerprint database. I think they ran it through all of them. If that's correct.
Well, they probably hit the national database, or did they not? I don't know, but I'm definitely going to be looking a little deeper on Nick Mowich. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm thinking possibly I'd like to look into that Chestnut guy because
Connor Chestnut, yeah.
Possibly he looks a little.
He does look a little. Yeah, I do agree with that. Truly and honestly, yes, sir. Very good point. I mean, it could be. It could be. And everybody was like, well, thank you so much for that, Sluther. God bless. You're an angel. Very much appreciated. Number 3 towards our goal today. God bless, son. Very generous. And people are like, well, if it's the frats, it's not going to be the AB. If it's the AB, it's not going to be the frats. If it's this, it's not going to be that. If it's that, it's not going to be this. No, I'm not. That's not how I see this. It could be all of it. Okay. If it were the AB, they can also work within the frats. If it were the frats are not doing this on their own. It's not a fraternity thing that they did by themselves, with themselves, for themselves, if that's the case. That's not how this worked, in my opinion. I don't believe that. There is something way bigger that's controlling this. That's my opinion. Truly and honestly, and I'm going to be sticking to this at this point, you guys, because there's some things that I can't let go of. One of the main things, and I'm going to say this out loud again, that I can't shake. I was talking to DA about this today. I cannot shake this. I've tried to. I've ignored this. I can't get away from this. I was reading through some of these reports again the other day. Are you still in here, Kim, or are you working on changing that thing up or doing something? Can you still hear me? If not, take your time, whatever you're doing, dear.
I hope she's changing the phone number.
I hope so. Yeah. Because it takes you to something else. And if not, I can pull her down. I don't want anybody harassing her. I'm begging you guys, please don't. Because I don't want to get angry with people. During one of the reports of the interviews that was done, one of them was done with Miss Kara Northington. Kara Northington is Xana Kernodle's mother. And they redacted the important part of this. But in the written report, she states, you guys use your imagination with this. She states, this better not have been because of redacted. And I told you then when I read it, like, whoa, that's interesting. But then I let it go. I can't let it go. It's bothering me. It's been bothering me. Okay? It was also tied to the 1122 address. What are you talking about? This here. They put the VIN number. I searched it and found it registered. The daughter of the owner. Oh. Well, Estes was one of the owners of the 1122 house, and that he was one of the previous owners on the title of the car. I know that. I didn't know anything about the owner of the Mad Greek Moonflower, but that's interesting. But anyway, so that kind of it's super stuck in my mind now. He fell out the window. Welcome back, bud. So her making that statement in her report, the redacted part I would really love to know, but it sounds to me like she knows something when she says that. This better not be connected to or because of redacted. What are you talking about? What is she talking about? Okay, there's something she believes for a good reason, in my opinion, that could be the reason for this. And I'm between that and many other things, I've been looking in a different direction than I had for a while, guys. I can't let it slide, unfortunately. And that's Dana's mom. Kara is, yes, Deb. She's not. She's not a stupid person. She knows how things go down in this area. She knows how things work within this area. She's been in the system more than once, and she knows the things that go on within the legal system in this area. Think about that. So for her to make that statement, this better not be because of redacted. And it's interesting to me that this happens 4 months later. There's a massive, massive. In fact, I'm going to show you something. Give me 1 second, you guys. Bear with me. My apologies. One minute here. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong channel. But when you see this, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And it'll all fit into place for you, in my opinion. Why I think I do. I'm not saying this is the absolution and this is the absolute answer. I'm just saying this makes sense to me. I've kind of avoided this in some ways. So 1 minute. Sorry, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. Please tell me if you can't. Hold on a minute. Okay. Now, everything you're going to hear with this, just take it into effect. Take just into consideration with this, okay? When this happened and the combination of people involved is all I'm going to say to you. I've avoided this for a while, like deeply looking into this, but recently I've really been going back to this. So just think on this. I'm going to start playing it and I have to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back, you guys. So bear with me and I'm sorry. 1 minute here. One second. Why is my mouse is not working today? I don't know why. Come on. Please and thank you. There we go. I think it's going to work now. Hurry up. I got to go to the little boy's room. What is going on with this? It's not sharing. Oh my God. This is the new setup. Sorry. Hold on. What is going on? You StreamYard. Okay. Now, 1 minute. StreamYard made some changes, you guys. So in turn, why are you doing all of this? Hold on. I don't like this. What the hell is this? Jesus. Just let me do it the way I always do it. Sorry, everybody. They changed the way you add things to the stage and set it up, and it's weird now. No, come on. Can anybody see this? I hope you can see and hear this. So it won't let me blow it up till I figure this out. So anyway, on we go.
Drugs, guns, and money seized in a multi-state bust in Washington and Arizona. 27 people now indicted after a long investigation into connections between a white supremacist prison gang and Mexican cartels. Correspondent Nancy.
No, I do not have Apple Pay, Mama 5, nothing. I don't have anything to do with any Apple products. So unfortunately, I do not. I'm sorry.
Is live. Nancy, this drug trafficking ring was under investigation for 2 years.
That's right, Nicole. It's quite a big bust. A blitz of arrests began over a week ago with 24 people taken into custody, and the search is on for 3 more. It follows an extensive investigation which uncovered what may be a growing partnership between the powerful Sinaloa cartel and a white supremacist prison gang known as the Aryan family.
Officers seized an incredible amount of illegal drugs.
The haul included nearly 2 million doses of fentanyl, enough to kill everyone in Seattle and Tacoma, along with 500,000 more. These are most of the 27 indicted, with alleged links to the Aryan family prison gang and Sinaloa cartel. They are arrested in Washington and Arizona after a sweep by federal and local law enforcement. Many of the defendants had already served time within the Washington correctional system, which is where the plotting allegedly started.
It was during those prison sentences that many of these defendants became connected with each other through their involvement in the Aryan family prison gang and other gangs, all under the umbrella of white power and white supremacy.
The alleged leader is 39-year-old Jesse James Bailey of Steilacoom, Washington. He's accused of being a principal organizer, establishing ties between the Aryan family and the Sinaloa cartel in order to distribute drugs throughout much of Washington state and Arizona. There are also links to Alaska and Nevada. During the operation, agents secretly seized drugs and equipment, leading to some reassurance about the integrity of their investigation.
The wiretap revealed that these gangsters believed that they were robbed by other people and did not know that they were being surveilled by law enforcement. They even had the audacity to report some of these seizures as thefts to law enforcement.
The operation also hauled in more than 200 firearms, most of them AR-style weapons, which authorities say were bound for Mexico in exchange for drugs. Greed and power are apparently driving more collaboration between white supremacists and cartels.
These criminal relationships are ruthless, calculating, and they do not care who they harm.
Now, the Washington DOC confirms to News Nation that the wife of Jesse James Bailey is among those arrested in the sweep. Candace Bailey is a former corrections officer who resigned as authorities investigated her links to an inmate and the Aryan family. Nicole?
Oh, wow. Yeah, certainly an interesting case here, Nancy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Okay, now, as soon as I figure out how to get this the hell off the screen, because it's weird. Where are you guys? Where the hell did everybody go? There we go. Okay. I hate when StreamYard messes with things they can't. Welcome, Sarah. Okay, who was looking for the StreamYard link? That was February of 2023, 3 months after the murders. Roughly. Now, I am anti-Apple, by the way. Why is somebody asking if I have Apple Pay anyway? No, I don't have anything related to Apple. I hate Apple products. I'm sorry, you guys. For all you iPhone users and any of that stuff, I do not at all like anything to do with Apple, period. Never have, never did, never will. Did you notice again, rectangle shape at the end of this video? What don't? Yeah, I mean, sure. And did you hear the connections to the different areas? Alaska, the Mad Greek is from Alaska. It's part of Sitka, Alaska. Is where it was founded. And I'm not saying that's a fact that provides the proof, folks. But what I'm saying, um, and I know that Bob did this, guys. A lot of people didn't want to hear it. That's the point that I'm making. Um, nobody really wanted to see or hear this stuff. I'm at the point now where I can't see or hear anything else. Okay, and it makes perfect sense to me. So, and we have people connected in many ways, possibly, if you think about it. And it also could, like I said, include. It doesn't have to be one or the other. In my opinion, this could include the fraternities as well. Okay, because of them working through this for this. I have no problem believing that, is all I'm saying. And again, why would law enforcement protect this? Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. You are right, Cassie. iPhone sucks. Sorry, you guys. I love you guys, but I can't handle iPhones at all. They could both be involved. They very well could be. So I'm not discounting any of that stuff. There's different ways to see it. Is all I'm saying. So, any thoughts, Moto, Edward, either one of you? Tell me I'm crazy, I'm stupid. I'm okay with it. I respect you guys both enough.
I think you're totally right. I mean, it could be one and all of the same thing. I mean, obviously the universities are going to be a hot commodity for the cartels.
Absolutely.
Obviously make their money off of it, right? So.
And did you hear that where they said that they were connecting the Sinaloa cartel along with the Aryan Brotherhood?
Oh no, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
I know that sounds crazy, but it is very interesting.
It's not crazy at all. I mean, that's where the networks get created, right?
I mean, yeah. Think about that. Like, and rather than working against each other, what's the best way to make the most profit? Combine your forces and work together. I know that sounds insane, but it just makes you wonder. Now, what does this have to do with the murders? That's the next question everybody's going to ask. Well, let's think about that. Okay.
I don't think it's hard to put that together. It's not.
I don't either.
Not a far stretch at all.
I don't either at all, and it's been talked about for a while. Pavarotti has been all over this for forever, folks. We all know that. Okay, we have
the connection between Maddie's dad, her real dad, and then obviously Xana's mom. Both possibly getting pinched. Very shortly before all this happening. It's quite logical. Somebody was sending a message, but I was kind of thinking this too. Didn't Xana's sister go to WSU? Isn't that right?
Jasmine was a Wazoo student. Yes,
but there was like sexual allegations against the Washington Police Department there, right?
Lots
from the university students. So
yeah. Kim is in. She's still backstage, I think. But
I kind of wonder I wonder if there's a connection there, or if there's a misunderstanding or miscommunication or misidentification going on there. Like I feel like that could be something too.
There very well could be. Okay, I think I fixed her problem. If she's still here, can you still hear me, Kim? Thank you, Cass. I don't know that she's still connected, guys. She does this with her phone. She has problems from time to time, but I did fix her other problem. Can you still hear me, Kim? If you can hear me, go out and come back in, dear. Oh, you need the link again? Okay, hold on. Let me remove this one. And I think I fixed your title and all that stuff. So 1 minute, dear. So this is something that I've kind of ignored for a while, you guys. And I know it's been talked about. So you guys can jump all over me if you want to, but I've looked in other directions first. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm looking at the things that are in my face now. The link is in the chat, Kim, if you want to take it. Cassie, thank you, hon. That takes us up to 4 out of 5 on our goal. God bless, dear. We love you and appreciate you. And Miss Rowe just hit it. You guys should be getting confetti now. So congrats and thank you guys for hitting that goal today. You guys are amazing. Rock and roll. For sure. 1 minute here. Okay. Sorry, my wife was talking to me. Where was I at? Yeah, the link is in the should be in the did I drop it in the chat? It's in the chat. There we go. Anyway, so let me move that. Thank you again, Ro, for that. God bless. So that's kind of the direction I've been looking recently. And it's starting to really make a whole lot of sense to me, you guys. And that could
kind of like feeling that direction since the very, very, very beginning.
Well, I knew it was there. Okay. But like I said, I was looking at other things, trying to make other things make sense first, just because I just can't anymore. Honestly, I just can't anymore, and I can't see past it now. You know what I mean?
What pointed me in that direction actually was the interview room guy at the very start. That's actually kind of got me onto that trail, and even though I kind of stopped watching him after he got a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know, some of his stuff kind of stuck with me.
Well, I'm not a big fan of his because of things he's done. But no, he did make some.
He did go down some trails, but then for somebody who was supposedly this big FBI investigator, you think, okay, well, and you still think this guy's guilty even though you're questioning it? Like, come on now.
He knows. I'm pretty sure he knows, bro.
Absolutely. But I mean, he was also on the panel that, helped, advertise BK as a sick individual, a sexually deviant, sick individual.
Of course. He's going with the flow. What's going to bring him ratings and people to his show is what he's doing. Truly,
exactly. He wants to stay with the mainstream media, right? He wants that thread.
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me, Kim?
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. I fixed your phone number.
Thank you. I saw that. Thank you so much because I didn't have a kid at home to do it.
Okay. No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm just listening.
Any thoughts on what I just threw out there?
Oh, so a plethora. So many thoughts, right? It all just continues to keep because we all have the same questions, right? The same things still don't make sense, except for it seems like as time's going by, layers are dropping off, or maybe like the onion's peeling down till we get to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like we're starting to see, or more people are starting to say, "Wait a minute," because I've had people come up to me and say, "Well, he pled guilty," and I said, "Sure." We've had many people plead guilty before that aren't guilty, but to save their family or to save something or they know something, whatever it is. But and my answer to them is, it could have been Brian, but it wasn't just Brian. So I can't tell you if it was Brian or not, for sure.
Right.
But the only thing I can tell you for sure is it's more than one person, and I know that from the beginning. And the kids' stories haven't changed. So all this time, their stories haven't changed.
Right.
And everything they've said has come to fruition.
A lot of that's the point that I pointed out with everybody that harassed you when you were coming out here saying this and that. Again, I don't owe, but I want to give a repeated apology to you for all the people that terrorized you.
It is the crime itself is so horrific. Man, I'll take the hit, right? I mean, I said the words. I stand behind everything I said. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. But so to date, I'm not.
No, and that's fine. And I'm grateful that you were comfortable enough to come back to the community and do what you do.
It's still on the table. It's still on the books. It's not gone. How many years are we doing this, right? And we're still not satisfied with an answer. Why? because we don't
Because
have an answer.
and they haven't given us any truth to build an answer out of. That's fact.
And right, no truth, right. And these kids are going on with their lives. They're trying to, but I can tell you, I'm watching these kids, and they're a lot different. The kids from
Right.
Moscow are different than they were. If you're, and I'm not saying that Hunter had anything to do with it or not. Walking in on finding that scene, I'm sure will change you forever. I have no judgment on him at all, or Emily. But do I think they know what happened? I do think they know what happened. I think Jack DeCore knows what's happened. I don't think he did it. I think it was beyond them. I think they were just taken advantage of. And it has to be Greek students, because if you're not Greek, you can't be on Greek row.
You're right.
So it's
Yeah,
got to
that's
be
something
kids in
you've
Greek.
always said.
Right. So, and they're very, very protective of that, right? With the drug, they have sober people at the door so that they only let athletes in, because athletes can't be in fraternities or sororities. But they, and the other part of it is, which I cannot get. So what I said to my daughter, why were Kaylee and Maddie living in the same house, live out? And she said, I don't know, because they were in a live out. And I said,
You still there? Welcome, sausage. Can you hear me?
Hello. I can.
How are you, dear?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I just have a quick question because I am kind of new, relatively speaking, to the whole kind of digging into the evidence and whatnot. And I have watched quite a few of the videos that Pav has put out regarding
Yes.
the Fetty brothers and the Aryan family, et cetera, et cetera. And as I recalled, he broke down the individuals that flew in from Seattle when he was going over the white Elantra and how it got picked up and then ended up in Oregon, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And he's using these documents showing that there was a CI that was handing off phones to them, and they were unaware that this informant had bugged all the phones or they were being traced. And that's how they knew, that they were using Snapchat, correct?
I did remember him talking about that. Yes.
And so all of this is taking place after the killings. And so
Right.
all of a sudden I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. If this is retaliation for what Kara or Maddie's stepmom, what they got themselves involved in, they would not have continued to use Kara as a dealer or a mule or a mover or whatever the proper word is for that type of involvement. They wouldn't have used her anymore if this was retaliation. They would have cut her off.
That
And
would
so
make
then I
sense.
started thinking, well, the person who is the closest to the victims that also has ties to these same people and just coincidentally survived the whole event is Dylan.
Thank
And
you.
I can't get over the fact that if there's more than one CI or there's something that, going on with Xana or Ethan where one of them is a CI and because they're kind of seemingly intertwined, is the other one helping the other one or kind of equally culpable because they're seemingly one person? Did Dylan get upset over that incident at Halloween? And that was the tipping point that then, who are her friends? Her friends are
Right.
these people that are known to move these same products around town. Is this who she complained to? They did this
Yes.
to me at Halloween. And also, I think he's a CI because this is the exact same time that the Fetty brothers have been sentenced and they're looking for who the rat is. And I'm wondering, did Dylan complain in an exaggerated way? And, like the game of telephone, as it got back, it got back and relayed that the rat was in the 112 house and this was payback, but they didn't know that the parents were ratting at the time. It just all was relayed from Dylan because
And
they
that
said Kaylee, had been gone for like 10 days or whatever. Well, that means she left right around Halloween. And
and
Dylan
then
is the one that went and convinced her to come back. And so I
thank
thought,
you.
If I left because somebody pissed me off, that person would be the person who would come and apologize to me to convince me to come back. The person who inflicted my grievance,
Yeah.
and so everything just keeps coming back to Dylan. And so I'm just wondering, does anybody know the exact date that she went to stay with her aunt?
I don't. That's a good question. I'd like to know that. Truly, that would be interesting. If I disappear, by the way, guys, it looks like it's about to dump like trucks and cars in my sky out here. So, and the storm might make me disappear. But anyway,
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Like trucks and cars in my sky out. You might have to come down and go back. Go out and come back in. But anyway,
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? You might have to come down and go back. Go out and come Hold back on. In. Yeah. Do that. Come back up through. Anyway, so what the hell was I saying? I can't remember exactly what I was saying. There was a lot of feedback coming through. That's probably why she couldn't hear. At this point, I'm getting feedback from something really bad. Hang on a minute, guys. If I mute you, I will unmute you in a minute, folks. Okay. Can you guys? Okay, I think that's what it was. There was some kind of pure feedback coming through there. All right. Hit that link again, Sausage, if you can hear me and come back up there. It's probably just technical issues. So where I was, what I was talking about is truly what Sausage just said does make sense. What I was going to say is if we think about who Dylan is connected to herself, okay, I'm going to say this again. In my opinion, Bethany seemed completely and totally petrified of this situation. She ran as soon as she could, stayed the hell away, and almost maybe a fear of Dylan herself and who Dylan's connected to, okay? We know who Dylan's connected to. We know who Dylan's dad is connected to. We know who Dylan's boyfriend is connected to. That's not a coincidence either, okay? So think about that. And Dylan is the one. I will not let this go. I don't care until you show me the proof that it didn't happen. I can't let go of the fact that she went to Kaylee's aunt and convinced Kaylee to come back to Moscow. That's something I can't just forget about. I just can't.
Dylan could have completely just accidentally said Xana Kernodle's last name, or maybe it was Maddie's last name just by accident, and maybe her boyfriend heard the name who he recognized, and they realized, hey, that's the name of somebody that snitched on us, or that could possibly be a snitch. Dylan, who the fuck's this Kernodle person?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hang on here. Let me drop this. Put the link in chat again. There we go. That could be Moto. That could be. That's a good point. And same with Sausage. What Sausage was saying. These things all make sense to me, you guys. But I cannot discount what I just showed you. This is where I think this is. I, honest to God, in my mind, over the past 48 hours, I've been processing this all by myself. I haven't even really talked to my moderators about this stuff, guys, which I usually do. I'm getting some feedback through you, Sausage. You might have to turn something down in the background, hon. If you can hear me. Oh, where'd she go? She disappeared again. So this is where I think this leads to, you guys. I think this is why Bethany took off, and at some point, we have a slight bit of an idea that Bethany may have gone into hiding at some point, based on some information we found, an alias that was being used, and her being in a completely different state, possibly. I don't have a way to verify this, but we did look pretty deeply into this and found some interesting things. I'll just say that much. That even in regards to Bethany's father. So I think that she took off for a reason, because of a fear of the situation and the actual people involved in this, is what my thought was. I think that's why she was going to leave that morning. I truly do believe she was going to leave that morning. That's just my opinion. But
like, how would Bethany know any of Dylan's close friends or who her boyfriend's connections were? Like that doesn't. I don't. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Well, not that she would know who they are, but she would know who, like by word of mouth. Dylan and her hanging out, talking. Yeah, my boyfriend belongs to this, or my boyfriend is one of these, or my dad did this. They did that kind of thing is all I can think of. But
so if her aunt's like a powerful attorney, maybe then her, by the slip of her aunt's mouth, maybe the name of the gangs came up around the dinner table or something. You know what I mean?
yeah, that could be too. That's interesting. That's quite interesting, actually. Yeah, we were definitely digging, and it is, guys, quite the rabbit hole we came to find with Bethany. I'll just tell you that much. And I that's why I think Dylan made a statement in her interview, guys. And if you have to hold on to it, you can't let go of it. She said, when they asked her, "Why do you think they left you alone?" She said, "I think because maybe they were trying to protect me because they knew me." You don't just say that out of nowhere, okay? Especially in a situation like this. Come the hell on. You don't just say that.
Yeah, that's a pretty stupid slip of the tongue.
Thank you. Okay? And I absolutely believe that when she said that, she meant that for a reason.
Yeah.
I think they were protecting me because they knew me. Again, you just don't pull that out of your ass and say, "Hey, this is why I think I wasn't bothered." And they know that too, in my opinion. So
yeah, but if Bethany's mom was a prosecutor, her aunt was a prosecutor, you know what? Somebody in that organization probably would have recognized her name. And so, I mean, you think Bethany would have been a target too, or maybe that's why she's so scared.
Well, part of what we dug into this rabbit hole on Bethany is a name change thing. Okay. She was going by a different name at some point, that her father was even connected to this other name. Who was a real person, is a real person. It's weird that literally was in this state at some point, which is what caught my attention when I found this out. And that's what made us go dig. I'm not going to tell you where in this state, but in this state. She was in Ohio based on what this told us. Okay. And I was like, what the actual hell is this? And why? Why do you go from Idaho to Nevada to Ohio at some point? And then she goes back to school. She was dead. Like, you guys remember, she was really quiet for a while. Nothing. Okay. And goes back, and I don't know if she did online schooling for Reno, wherever the hell she went to school in Nevada. I don't know if it was UNLV, or I don't know for sure what college she went to, but the things we found were interesting. Is it true? I don't know. Okay. But it's awful ironic that this happens. The dates lined up for her to come to this state from that state and these other states that she should have been in. It's just wild to me. The whole thing makes no damn sense unless you look at it from that angle. And I was like, okay, it could all be a bunch of mucked up bullshit. Okay. I said mucked up, by the way. I don't know why I said that, but I did. But it just makes things make a little sense to me. And it's like, wow, okay. Were you, I'm not saying she went into like Whitstick or anything like that, because that's not what this is. What it looks like to me is, if this is all true, that she personally herself, and maybe her daddy, her family, took her and put her out of society's eye for a while till things quieted down, which they never did, sadly. But so that people, when they went looking for her, couldn't find her right out of the gate. Okay. Because she was going by a completely different name at some point, the way it reads to us. Okay. Nobody was going to go looking for this name. So if she's on social media, if she's doing anything under, it's not going to be under Bethany Funk. It's going to be under this other name. So yeah, there's the problem. So it made me wonder. And Dylan has connections that we found out a long time ago to certain organizations through family and friends and boyfriends and all that fun shit. So that again, why do you think they left you alone, Dylan? Why do you think they didn't come after you? Well, I think because they knew me and they were trying to protect me. You don't just say something like that unless you know what you're saying. I'm sorry. That's a dumb statement. You don't just make that statement out of nowhere. Welcome back, Sausage, by the way.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can.
So,
I agree with you 100% that she slipped up when she said that.
mhm,
And I do think that logically the reason that you let her live is because she's not necessarily a witness um, and a survivor. She's someone who participated. And if she's the one who lets the cat out of the bag and says, "Hey, I know you're on the hunt for the snitch of the Fetty brothers. Turns out this little son of a bitch who humiliated me over Halloween, either he's the snitch or his girlfriend is the snitch and they're snitching together." And, I don't really
yeah,
know what went down or how these Kaylee and Maddie are involved, but it seems likely um, because Dylan is in the middle of all of it and she survived this event, that, it's possible that she's the one that gave them up. And maybe she thought they were just coming there to, do it like a shakedown, like beat the hell out of them, recover any product,
that
et cetera,
that's
et cetera. And Bethany says, "I
yep,
don't want to watch my friends get beat up. I'm taking my iPad and I'm going down to the Whites." Because in the text messaging of Bethany to Dylan, she says, and correct me if I'm wrong, she says, "Why don't you come down here?" She didn't
yeah,
specifically say, "Why don't you come to my bedroom? Come down to my room." She
right.
says, "Down here." And so to me, I'm thinking, well, that could mean, why don't you come down to the Whites? Don't stay up in the house by yourself. Don't stay there alone.
It could. You are correct. It definitely could.
Because she does
Most
look,
definitely.
Bethany does look like she has walked up from the Whites. She's standing across the street when the police show up. Everybody else is at the front door, but she's lagging behind, like that's the place that she came from.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't want to watch my friends get beat up because, they've gotten themselves involved in some shenanigans. I would say, well, hell yeah, I'm going down. The Whites are just right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Agreed.
so I'm wondering, in the documents of the defenses, the rebuttal, or all of that, where they mention Bethany's iPad and the location, I'm thinking, well, quite possibly, does the iPad show that she walked down to the Whites? Because in the Alex Murdaugh trial, they could tell that he
Yes.
got up from his couch and he walked from his home to the kennel. They knew
Yes.
exactly where they were based upon the phone's iCloud, not some
Yep.
guesstimation of a cell phone tower.
You are absolutely correct here. That's a fact. The Murdaugh thing, the Murdaugh trial proved that, you guys. That's a fact. So, no, that's a good point to bring up. Now, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. K-Kaz, welcome. Um, oh my God. She is in chat, K-Kaz. She's the WSU mom is in chat. Why don't I see? Hold on a minute, guys. My apologies. Oh, welcome, itty bitty. Good to see you, dear. I mean, at some point, Alicia, yeah, it is a real thing. We've looked into it. It does happen, but in this case, maybe. I'll say maybe. I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to say yeah. I'm going to say maybe. But I feel like with what I've been talking about today is where I'm kind of like, I think I'm putting roots down here, folks. I can't get past this. I just can't. That video that you were talking about, Sausage, that Paul put out, I can't remember when he did it. And you guys, if you guys have not, I know there's a lot of people that don't care for Pavarotti. Okay, all due respect, there's not everything he says I have fully supported, but I respect and support the work the man does. He's one of the hardest working YouTubers out here, and as far as investigating, reporting, digging, you got to give him that. And
I
this,
mean, for me, I don't mean to interrupt, but being new to
you're
looking
okay.
at the document dump since December, he is one of the podcasters that has sourced like Lana and Jules. When
Yeah,
I'm just looking for who the hell has sourced this information that is not attaching, now he does attach a lot of theory to it, but you can find a lot of his videos that he's just amazing at sourcing material.
yeah. No. Very, very absolute. Yes. And
You got to
whenever
give
he
it to him
did,
too. He'll admit when he makes a mistake and he'll fess up to it.
yeah, and that's respectable, truly and honestly. Now when I can't remember when he did that video. He's been doing these videos. Okay, he comes with receipts when he does these things. He shows what he's doing. He has been wrong, as we all have. It's okay. the point is he's going in the right direction. I truly, honest to God, feel that now and see that now with some other things that just seem to. It took a while, but some of these things took a minute before they would register in my little ass brain, but they did. So, cha-ching in my brain now, and now I can't. When I can't look past something and say, "Nah, I'm not gonna really give that any kind of attention. I'm gonna discount that and move forward." I can't do that at this point, is what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't mean it's the be all end all for this case, folks. It just means that that's where I'm at. And going back to what Kara said, watching his video that he talked about, so on and so forth. And again, this is stuff that Tomboy's been drilling into my brain for 3 years now. Okay. And it's like, I know you're right. I see it. I get it. But I'm still looking over here.
You know, I'm also wondering if the snitching that was coming out of the 112 house wasn't in some way responsible for the two sororities being put on probation, because it seems pretty coincidental to me that those two sororities are the same two sororities of all of the girls living in the house.
Yeah, it's interesting. And they left the sororities too. So,
right,
you know,
right. And so the other thing is, did they de-affiliate, or did they actually like get kicked out or say I want to be removed? Those are two different things. You can de-affiliate and you're no longer paying dues, you're no longer going to meetings, functions, et cetera, but they haven't gone in and taken your name out of the chain in the links of the sorority, you know, where you're permanently there. Those are two different things. But
and you know this, being a former sorority member, so yes.
Correct.
You know, we had that talk not too long ago. So yeah,
right.
100%.
Because I left after a year, and I actually just left the university and went to a different school, and did not rejoin. But technically, even though I quit and I left and I'm no longer participating, they still sent me, you know, their magazine, and technically I was still affiliated, would be the proper term.
Yeah, got you. Makes sense. It does. It makes sense.
But I thought it was very coincidental that those are the two houses out of, I think it was like the 10 that we found from that Fox News article that had been put on probation. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if that's how these other two girls didn't get. And I don't know. It just seems like there is a preponderance of evidence, especially with the interviews that Connor has, you know, the FOIAs that people are getting, that all of the interviews, they are questioning them repeatedly about rugs.
Uh-huh.
And so it, you know, you can't get away from it. But I'm also wondering, because I'm late to looking at all the evidence, are there interviews with the friends of the females in the house that will give any insight to when did Kaylee leave? Does it coincide with Halloween? Why did she leave? And, you know, why were these sororities on probation, or any of the dynamics between the girls, seeing as Dylan is the main survivor who was the material witness giving the majority of the explanation for her witnessing of events that evening. And she's also the one who survived, and then it turns out her entire alibi, you know, her phone records, is a lie. And then there's a Mino black in the doorway of her bedroom, and then it appears to be puddled further into her bedroom, where it also, like Lana pointed out, it does not appear that she slept in that bed in any way, shape, or form. Like everything's piled on top of it.
I'm curious.
There's no way in hell she slept.
Some of the other fraternity victimology videos will be released too, especially for the girls, like Sausage Biscuits was saying. I'm pretty curious. I'm
hoping. Yeah. Be honest with you, dude. I'm expecting to see some Delta interviews after what we heard with the Sigma Chi interviews. Yeah. And to answer your question a little bit, Sausage, I know you came in late, and by the way, you've done an amazing job at catching up and getting as in-depth involved in as you have. Like, you're pretty much almost at the same level we are, for those of us that have been here going on 4 years, and you've only been here for a certain period of time. You know what I mean? So you're pretty caught up for the most part, and you're doing an amazing job of breaking things down. And it is appreciated to see your involvement, by the way, so you know that.
Well, I really appreciate it. And hopefully it gives you all hope that for the people that weren't paying attention and just, assumed the little blip on the radar of the mainstream media that Brian was guilty, for people who genuinely take the time to look at the evidence, it's right there in front of your face that it's flimsy. It's not, it's not valid.
No.
It's not his car. Like all of it falls apart within moment. I mean, also you have somebody screaming as though they're being murdered at 2:27 in the morning, and he hasn't even left his residence
Still in Washington.
Coleman.
Thank you. Yeah.
He's
And
like,
and they don't seem to think about those things when they're pointing this out. Hey, Tandy. Like, and then when we catch this and point it out, well, that there's a whole, well, this has happened over here and that happened over there. So we can't give this exact answer and then they just deny FOIAs and they don't give you the information you're asking for to try to prove these points. Yeah, this is what they do. They know what's going on. They know what we're looking at. They know what we're doing, and they're not going to have it if they have any control over it. So, yes.
Right. So, but you don't hide anything if there's nothing to hide.
No, you don't. Bingo.
Just like Dylan, you wouldn't hide and lie and give this huge, crazy story. If you're totally innocent, you would be like, this is the craziest shit that happened, and you would be traumatized and you would regurgitate the truth.
Yeah.
And if you're really just covering up a stash of rugs in your house, it doesn't take 8 hours to go find a stash of rugs and get rid of them.
No, you're correct. You are correct. Eddie, are you still in here, brother?
I'm still here.
You're so calmly, patiently. You do this all the time, and he just listens. Doesn't say a word and just listens. Thank you for listening and being so patient. But any thoughts on any of this as of just far where we're at? Welcome back, Kim.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Any thoughts, feelings, opinions, Ed?
It's kind of a tangent. Maybe I should.
I know we're kind of all over the place, but
hold my peace and bite my tongue.
Okay. No problem. I got you.
I want to hear Eddie say something. I'd love to hear.
Eddie, I'll tell you now, one thing if you haven't learned about Eddie is he likes to deal with one situation at a time.
Yeah,
he doesn't really like to spread himself like that, and I respect that. I get it.
I get you.
Yeah, he's listening and absorbing though, and at some point we'll come back with something that we've talked about to me today. I'm sure. So
I love that about him. Really, honestly, it gives me a different perspective all the time, which is what we have to have.
I'm very grateful that he's part of our family. That's truth. Yeah. So, do you have any thoughts, Kim, as to, because I'm gonna have to shut this down pretty soon. I just realized.
Okay. So as far as
what she was just saying, any thoughts of and to what Sausage was saying?
Yeah, I hear about the sororities and stuff. It's just, I think what I was getting was it's so rare for somebody not to be in a sorority or to get kicked out or to drop it's such a stigma. I guess that's the only thing I can say. It's the worst thing in the world to these kids. I know it's not the worst thing. We all as adults know that. But to these young kids, this is where they are at this moment, right? The first time away from home, they're kind of in a bubble. They're feeling protected because they feel like people can't get at them, which conversation we all have to have with our kids, but
sure.
For these kids not to, what's really bothering me about this whole thing is that Showalter was kicked out of his fraternity. The one boy, the lifeguard who died in the puddle. Was in
Hudson.
Showalter. Yeah, Hudson. He was in Showalter's fraternity house.
Yeah.
He was also Kaylee's little. So boys males and females can have littles from
okay. I got
different sororities, right? But it's different. But it's just like he was under
I know what you
Kaylee.
mean.
Yeah, so he was Kaylee's little. So Kaylee drops a fee. I've never heard of an AFE dropping. I'm sorry, but I just haven't. And then I don't remember which one the other girls were in a different sorority. Pi Phi, right. Okay, so Xana is no longer in her fraternity or in her sorority. And then I'm just now hearing that Ethan, I knew he was a fresher. I did not know he lost his room status because that was rare then. They were just coming back from COVID. We'd been paying for our kids to live in apartments and paying the house fees and all of those things. So I just keep wondering but they wouldn't let. So they said about his grades, right? Being a freshman,
Yeah.
there had to be more to kick him out of his room.
He was a second year fresher, by the way, too. This was he failed out the first year, repeating
Yeah,
his
and then he
freshman
was
year, and then he
freshman.
was
Yeah,
struggling with his grades. Right. Yeah.
was he struggling again? So, but he was kicked out for. I've never heard of that, and maybe it's different
Partying.
now, right? Party. It could be partying. What kind of partying are they doing? Did you get caught with alcohol? I mean, we lost a boy. My daughter was a PC-19 at Wazoo, and they lost a boy, and they've changed a lot of hazing rules over it.
Yeah.
But that's just a band-aid, right? They don't really mean this. It's about money. It's about kids wanting to belong and fit in, and and a lot of us parents, we think our kids are prepared. And I have to tell you, if I ever thought I would have this conversation with, I mean, I'm so glad my grandson decided to go somewhere else next year. Thrilled
Right.
that he's not going there.
Absolutely.
And I
Well,
think it's just the bottom dollar is
have
coming
you
from.
heard? That's a good point. And have you heard any of the newer interviews, Kim, that they did with Sigma Chi about mostly all Ethan?
Yeah, I have been hearing those, and I find those really interesting. Why was that not brought up in the beginning? All these kids could go to these weddings, right? They'll all show up. They're all
Yeah.
there. They're 300 kids deep, right?
Right.
And why the heck, if they can all get to a wedding, could the police not keep them there? And I am one of the moms whose children would have been kept there. They were on Greek Row at Wazoo. They would have missed Thanksgiving. I don't care. I Thanksgiving was not what I was thinking about, or Christmas, or any of it. It was like, keep them there until they talk. Put them in a
Agreed.
jail cell
Agreed.
till you talk. They will talk if kids are only see what they want, right? They're selfish. They
But see,
grow into.
I agree with you. I think they purposely didn't do that.
I
Is
do
what I'm
too.
saying. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I do too, because of Showalter's uncle, who is a prosecutor for the state, or an attorney general for the state.
Okay.
I think there's a lot to do with it.
That's interesting.
I
There's a
think
lot
Showalter's
behind
parents have a
that.
lot
Yeah.
to do with Showalter walking. He was he knows what Maddie said. He knows, he and Adam are the only ones we know for sure what Maddie said that night.
Yeah.
And he
I would
hasn't
love to
told
know that
anybody.
conversation. And
What
I
did Maddie
wonder.
say? Why were they going to hurt her? What did Maddie tell Adam? And why aren't you telling anybody?
That's a good
We
question.
have the answer. The answer's in, and I'm not saying they did it. I'm just saying, whatever Maddie was sick of, whoever she told and was done with, those two boys, they know. They know.
Yeah. Good point.
They're alive. They're here. You let them leave. You even gave Showalter an honorary degree, and he failed out of school. He's like, he got a general studies thing. I said, wow, can I get a discount then?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. So we know the answers. They know the answers. They're right there. Adam
I
knows the
agree.
answer. He was told. Showalter knows the answer. He was told. They're alive. And I have a feeling Jack Decor knows it, because Maddie or Kaylee was desperately trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah. That's a good point
I
too.
think that's all we need to know is
Yes.
talk to
Yes,
them. Is to
ma'am.
talk to them. And I'm saying
Yes.
they did anything, but they know
I can agree. I can
out of
agree.
their own mouths.
Before we, I agree with that
Right?
too. Before we get out of here tonight, thank you first and
And
foremost
if
for
they were my
coming
kids,
up
I
here.
tell you what, I would have them. I would not keep them out of jail. No,
I get
I would
it.
drive them to jail, and I'd let
Same,
them sit
same here.
there.
I said that a long
And
time
I'd
ago.
make
You
them dinner
remember
when
that?
they ever got out, but I wouldn't visit them. So
Yeah.
where are their parents, and why aren't they saying, speak now? And why is Decor driving a car that is bulletproof?
Yeah. I mean, wait, a bulletproof car? Where'd that come from? I never heard that. That's interesting. Well, either way,
My sister.
again, these are all interesting points. But I do have a question for you. Can you hear me okay? Or do we have a delay again? Hello, hello? She can't hear me. Damn it. What is going on with this shit? Thank you, Moto. Appreciate you, brother, very much again for your generous donations as always. God bless. Very interesting. If you could hear me, Kim, I'm gonna be calling you because I want to set up a point where you can join us on our secondary show. Um the verdict room, unfiltered, with myself, Miss Kim from Typically Unique, Logan, and Mikey. I'm sure you'll have no problems doing that, but I just want to make sure. But I'm going to be calling you to try to set that up, dear. I think it would be a great show. Everybody would love to see you join us for that. So, and guys, we're going to get back to this probably tomorrow because I have more to talk on this. This BMW is something that was one of those things that was pushed to the side and forgotten about. I remember sitting in here with my moderators again, trying to differentiate what this vehicle was that has this soup can motor or exhaust that has that grumble to it, and it comes to be, one of my mods whose husband works with cars said that's absolutely what that is. That was a long time back, guys. So yes, it's something we need to talk about as well. But I know this was a little shorter than normal. But again, my apologies. I didn't get to come in here when I wanted to, because I was working on something trying to fix it. But either way, I think that's going to do it for today. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you, Kim, Moto, Eddie, 1-1, all of you guys for joining me, guys. It was awesome conversation. I got some things out off my chest that I really wanted to get started. And I want to have more conversations on this. Mark B's in the house. What's up, brother? What Cam and timestamp is it? I think it's the one, it's the one Linda Lane, Mark, that we see the white car pull up at the dumpster. Okay, that's where we decided we believe that's the BMW. So if you know which one, I don't know exactly which one it is, but that's the one where they show the dumpster, the car pulls up. I don't know if they dropped or picked somebody up or dropped them off. I can't remember. It's been a minute. And then they turn around and go back. That's the one I believe it is, Mark. So, and thanks for jumping in here, Mark B. Great to see you guys. Another awesome creator that has added so much to this case, and we appreciate him so very much for what he's done. Yeah, I believe it's that being right there. Yes. 2015 through 19 BMW X6. Thank you. Yes, sir. Now, that's the one we were talking about. And that car, in my opinion, is very important to what I was talking about earlier. Okay. And we'll get back to that maybe tomorrow. I'm hoping, because there's so much more I have to talk about with this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. And like I said, there's more to this. Who did this? Really, who did this and why? Much more to talk about. And I'm going to be giving Kim a call to try to set her up for our verdict room show soon. Hopefully she'll agree to it. Because I know Kim and Logan and Mikey all had stuff they would love to talk to her about. I'm looking forward to that as well. Guys, you can see me tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Crimes After Dark with Devil's Advocates. If you're interested, please pop on over and check it out. I'm sure there'll be more of this conversation going on over there tonight as well. Definitely looking forward to it. Thank you to my moderators. You guys are absolutely the best on the tube. Nothing but love for all of you. Thank you to, again, my production manager, Mikey, my videographer, Molly. All of my moderators are amazing and loved so very much. Thank you to all of the people that came in and supported us. Anybody that supported us, whether it was Super Chats, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, any memberships gifted, all of it. Never expected, but always so greatly appreciated. Absolute nothing but love for all of you. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other, folks. And if you didn't do it, please tap that like button on the wall to the right there on your way out the door. Love you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
The coffee's cold, the final stain. We laid the map out in the pouring rain. No hidden corners left to creep. The dark truth woke while the city was asleep. The evidence lines up straight and true. A perfect picture of what they chose to do. The quiet street erupts in flashing cafe's empty, closed for the night. We put the darkness back into the light. We'll wipe the counter, set the empty chair, and wait right here for the next secret laid bare. Until the next one.